All right, so we're going to look at ratios and proportions. So this is 2.6, ratios and proportions. Again, you're going to want to make sure you write down these notes so that you have them for your assessment. So our goal here is we're going to compare ratios, and then we're going to solve proportions. The biggest thing we're going to look at here is actually solving the proportions here. So let's go to our next page. We have two definitions we're going to look at. The first one is, what is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division, such as, 1/2, 2/4, ratios. These are all different ratios, 1 to 2, 2 to 4. You have a ratio of 3 to 7. 3 dogs to 7 cats. It's just a comparison. What a proportion is an equation stating two ratios are equal. So we have the 1 to 2 and 2 to 4. 1/2, that ratio is the same thing as 2 to 4. So it makes it an equation, which makes it then a proportion because you're comparing two ratios and setting them equal to each other. You could also see something like this, x over 2 equals 2 over 4, where then you can figure out, well, what is that missing value for x? This is a simple one. You know that 2 times 2 gives you 4. So what times 2 gives you 2? Well, then x equals 1. So that's what we're going to be looking at, is we're going to be taking these proportions and ratios and learning how to figure out what part of it is. So we need to first determine, are ratios equivalent? So if we look, 7/8 and 49/56, are they equivalent? Meaning, are they the same thing? The easy thing you can look at is you can say, hey, 7 times 7 is 49. Well, 8 times 7 is going to give us 56. So because if we multiply the numerator by 7 and we multiply the denominator by 7, we have, a proportion, then we know they are equivalent. There's another method to do this. That other method is what's called cross products. Don't worry about all this other stuff right here. Cross products mean you can multiply diagonally. And when you multiply diagonally, you can determine if they are equal to each other. So if we do 7 times 56, 7 times 56 is going to give us a 2, carry the 4, 392. And 8 times 9, 8 times 9 is 72, carry the 7, we're going to get 392 as well. So by doing the cross products here, we can determine that 392 equals 392. So that will determine if this is a proportion or it is an equivalent ratio. So we're comparing two ratios by using what's called cross products, which is where we can multiply diagonally. So we want to use cross products to determine if this is a proportion. So we're going to take 0.25 and we're going to multiply it by 2. And then we're going to take, so let's do that, 0.25 times 2 is going to give us 0.5 equals 0.6 times 1.25. And if we plug that into a calculator, 1.25 times 0.6, I get 0.75. 0.5 is not equal to 0.75. So no, this does not equal to each other. So this is not a proportion. Let's try the same thing here. We take 2 times 20. 2 times 20 is 40. And then if we take 2.5 times 16, you get 40. And these two equal each other. So yes, this is a proportion by using our cross product, showing we can multiply diagonally to determine if these ratios are proportional. So how could we use this to solve a proportion? So I have a missing value here of n. With n over 12 equals 3 over 8. We can't necessarily figure out exactly, okay, 12 divided by what gives us 8? Or 8 times what gives us 12? It's not something that we know off the top of our head. So what we can use is our cross product. 8 times n is going to give us 8n. 12 times 3 is going to give us 36. We set them equal to each other. Look what we have here. We have a one-step equation. To solve this one-step equation, we divide by 8. Divide by 8. N equals 36 eighths. Because 36 is not divisible by 8. But we can simplify 36 eighths because they both are divisible by 4, which would then give us n equals 9/2. So we can use that cross product rule to figure out what is the missing value in a proportion. So let's look at another one. X plus 4 over 12 equals 3 over 4. Well, I can go, hey, 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times 3 is 9, but wait. So we can use our cross product here. 4 times x plus 4. That whole thing needs to be multiplied by 4. Look at, we have distribution. It's supposed to equal 12 times 3, which is 36. Distribute. 4x plus 16 equals 36. Subtract 16. Nice, my board was uncalibrated. 4x equals 20. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. So x equals 5. We plug x 5 back in, so then we know this top number should be 9. Okay? So using our cross products will help us find the answers for various proportions by setting up equations that we should already know how to solve. So what I want you to do is I want you to try these ones on your own based on what we just learned with the cross product rule. So you should be pausing the video now and try these on your own. All right, so the first one, you should have gotten r equals 5. You have set up the equation 40r equals 200, divide by 40. The second one should have 8 times y minus 4 equals 15. Boom. Hey, look at, we've got a cool fraction of 47 eighths. Right? Not your typical fraction that cannot be simplified. So this is solving proportions and ratios. All we're doing is we're setting up equations to figure them out. So again, if this is something that you're confused on, make sure you ask the questions. Make sure also you took the notes.